Hello, it's Tom Stoukas coming to you. First broadcast of 2026, January 2nd. Hopefully everybody had a nice new year. So, oh shit, sorry. So, what I seen, this is what I'm seeing for the first days of 2026. It's a huge thing on the internet, on social media about, it seems like European populations and basically Western populations, so European, Canadian, Australian, U.S., are starting to like really speak up against government policies. A lot of frustration over cost of living, the immigration, and basically people. A lot more people are talking about it without being afraid of being like ostracized. So it seems like it's picking up steam heading into 2026. I don't know quite why. Like Elon Musk is talking about it all the time about the death of Western civilization, and I think he said you have to be intolerant if you're being faced with your existence being wiped out, or civilization being wiped out. So like he's really into it. And then this kind of surge in the basically native populations trying to, like Western populations trying to survive against these policies of mass immigration and cost, the inflation, theft by the central banks, of course. Coming against that in 2026, probably a bunch of all these hate speech laws that they want to do to control hate, but when they say that, they mean control the population. So it's going to be like a clash between the hate speech laws and the surge in populism or nationalism, I suppose, in all these countries who are basically getting destroyed. Like some of the scenes from some of these countries, Toronto included, Canada included, but a lot in Europe, it's crazy how they're basically taking over the center cores of the cities, and you know if you're a woman by yourself, good luck. Even if you're a guy by yourself, you could get totally robbed. And yeah, but at the same time too, they want to bring these hate speech laws. That'll be interesting to watch. And then they want to go to war with Russia and Iran, and the perpetual war. And they expect the citizens who are being destroyed to go fight in these foreign wars while their countries are falling apart. It's crazy. So all this coming in 2026. Maybe it won't hit the fan totally in 26, but it's all going to be interacting, all these dynamics. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be a fun year. But maybe it will be. Who knows? Who knows? Let's do the split view here. Let's just go through the day. It seems like a theme is like all these forces are coming together early in 2026. Not messing around. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and also I think regarding Canada too, not just like Canada specifically, is the Alberta thing. I've seen a lot of that on the social media, the Alberta independence. We'll be tracking that. I don't live in Alberta, so I don't know how serious this separation movement is. Like, it feels like it is, but who knows what the level of support is. Some polls will be interesting. I'm sure there'll be polls coming out as the stuff progresses there. But they had this plan, which seems like a good plan. Let's say if Alberta leaves, what are they going to do for money? And basically, it sounds like a good plan. They say, what does it say here? So, independent Alberta should prohibit mandatory digital ID or digital currency for employment, banking, or healthcare. Yeah, the bankers won't like that. The central bank would hate central bankers, like the evil ones that are destroying our lives, would hate everything in this plan. Adopt the U.S. dollar used by sovereign state. Like they say, adopt the U.S. dollar at first for stability, and then create an Alberta dollar backed by gold or oil. Hard asset standard would make Alberta the first jurisdiction in North America with fully redeemable currency. That kind of trust attracts capital. Hybrid system, maintain U.S. reserves for international trade, but circulate Alberta dollar domestically. Redeemable for gold through licensed depositories. Yeah, central banks would hate this. Like they will do whatever they can to stop this in Alberta. Like I can already see it, because then people might. It's actually pretty sensible, and like it's a hard back currency. So what it means is they can't print money like crazy. Yeah. You're going to see a tax on this. Maybe not. Because other people, if Alberta does it, I'm sure they'll compare it to that old Alberta premier, the social credit guy. But anyway, I can't wait for the comparisons. So, let's say Alberta does it, and it's a good policy, and it's backed by oil and gold. Other countries might, other provinces or other constituencies or whatever, states, whatever, might do the same, So the central bankers would be like, we don't want this to be a good example for others to follow. So, but on paper, it sounds like a pretty sensible plan if they did vote to separate. All right, here's an interesting, the food professor's prediction for 2026. I'm in the restaurant business, so I thought this was interesting. At least 4,000 Canadian restaurants will disappear this year. So I think that's about 5%. And I said I agree, because there's way too many restaurants. Like between Skip the Dishes and all the fast food choices and all the corporate restaurants, and along with the dwindling independent restaurants, there's so many places to eat, and most of them are many of them are staffed by foreigners who, like, I've seen a lot of video lately of foreigners in the kitchen, and anyway, their business plan relies on this source of labor, and it doesn't account for all the externalities that they bring with it, the foreign labor. But so my opinion is they should close. Why not? We have too many of them. Many of them, these fast food places open, are just a way to get more people into the country. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah. But unfortunately, they'll probably close as more independent restaurants will close, just because they can't keep up with the costs and rents and everything. Along with the competition. There's a lot of competition for a dwindling consumer dollar. So the restaurant business is going to be tough in 26, I can see. Always tough. It's always tough these days. All right. Here's this thing on the immigration numbers going into 26. They're cutting a lot of things like study permits, big time, and PR they cut a little bit, and other visas they've been cutting, and they've been like cracking down. But I think it's like window dressing, just to appease people like me and who complain about it all the time, and. Like, they'll do it for a couple years and then they'll ramp it up when people get mollified. Plus, they don't mention the 5 million that are here that are going to be expired soon, or maybe already are, I think, in 25, end of 25. So it could be like a bait and switch. Like, say we cut levels here, but we're going to give amnesty to 5 million here. So I don't trust these guys on the immigration file at all. Like, the ones who created the problem aren't going to fix it. So it's crazy how I think that was their strategy is let's flood the country and just like as much as we can till it's like an irreversible, and then we'll start cutting. I think that was the plan. So that's what it is. It says Canada sharply tightening immigration in 2026, cutting numbers across nearly every stream after years of record high intake. So permanent residents down slightly, and 483,000 in 2024 of permanent residents. That's like Mississauga almost. I don't know, Mississauga, maybe Edmonton, or a big city, London, Ontario, let's say, every year. Very unsustainable. Temporary worker admissions from 230 from 367, so that's a big jump. Like I said, declines across the board, but we'll see if this is like real or just window dressing. I'm a little leery of the intentions. I mean, I'm not against it. The number should be lower. They never should have been that high. It's crazy. Nobody's held to account either. Never. Okay. Here's another thing. So Canada's destroyed in the sense you can't, like the real estate and the rental housing, the healthcare system, there's stresses everywhere when there shouldn't be. We're a very rich country, very well educated, skilled country. So I don't understand this situation. So, but our MPs are more worried about, this is Iran, the conservatives and liberals, but conservatives, like, during COVID, they didn't say shit. And now, but when some foreign country has an issue, especially when it's in Israel's favor, so Israel wants to get rid of this Iranian regime, so, they're happy that the people are rising up against the regime. And of course, all the Canadian politicians and Zionists, I call them Zio cucks because they watch Canada get screwed while they do whatever for Israel. So they want this regime gone. Okay, fine. That's Israel's right. But I don't understand why Canadian politicians, basically, they're there to cheerlead for their Zionist masters. So here's Andrew Lawton. He's MP for St. Thomas, not far from here. Iranians are rising up against their oppressors. The Ayatollah's dictatorial, theocratic regime must end. The Iranian people have the power to do this. Every time we see protests, the regime grows weaker. This could be the one that breaks it. I stand with the people of Iran. So basically, these are Israel talking points. Israel's been saying stuff about Iran for the last 30 years, that they got a bomb, they're going to do this, whatever. I don't care. This is Canada. We got tons of problems here, and I can't believe Andrew Lawton, like St. Thomas got a lot of crackheads and people struggling to survive. Why isn't he showing the same enthusiasm for that he is for Iran? Like, the people in Iran will take care of whatever. But whenever Israel is involved in stuff like this, all that ends up is chaos, instability, and more refugees coming to Canada. So this guy is cheerleading for that, I guess. Like Syria, where do you think all those Syrian refugees came from? They wanted to get rid of that regime. They did, eventually. But it resulted in tens of thousands of refugees coming here. So Iran's a bigger country than Syria. But yeah, I hate this, I hate stuff like this. Free Iran. What about Canada? Free Canada. The conservatives are more worried about freeing Iran for Zionists than they are about freeing Canada. Basically, that's what it is. It's not just Andrew Lawton, it's all of them. Here's National Post. Nearly 5 million visas were set to expire in 2025. Where are the visa holders now? I don't think I can read this. I don't subscribe to this. But National Post lately has been, maybe they are going to let me read it. National Post has been more very, very publishing a lot of immigration stories for where people, like, where 2 years ago would be unheard of. So it's weird. I don't really trust the National Post either, so who knows what they're up to. So where are these are the 5 million, so yeah, I have to register. Well, I don't think National Post knows the answer to that anyway. Yeah, that's a good question. 5 million. They'll probably do some kind of amnesty. Because actually Carney said in an interview, he said, people who have been here, he's talking about these 5 million, who have contributed and built a life, will have a way to stay. So it's an amnesty's coming, I'm pretty certain. It'll be hard to pass. I can't see selling it to people already, but who knows? I mean, it's 5 million people. Like, yeah, that's a lot of deportations. All right, here's Bruce. Canada needs ICE or a remigration task force with teeth. Yeah, that's for 5 million people. Yeah, it's very interesting. Doge style. Oh, this is the comments. Okay. Next post. So here's again on Iran. Donald Trump, who's been a very, I don't know, maybe they really got some Epstein stuff on him, because he's totally like over, like all the time. That's all he does. He's talking with Netanyahu, or he's talking with this guy or that guy. It's like the States has got a lot of issues, and he talks more about Israel's policies than he does about U.S. policies. And but it's only the first year. But here it seems like he's continuing. He said about Iran, about the protests in Iran, if Iran shots, if Iran shoots, he meant shoots, and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. It's whatever. I don't care about the tweets. If he actually does what he says in this tweet, it would be crazy. Like, go to war for what? It's basically an internal matter. If the regime falls, it falls. But I have, this history of that region. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on that we don't know about. But the last thing we need to do is get involved in it, basically. I couldn't care less. They've been fighting over the Persian Empire for centuries. So everybody said, like, when they bombed Iran a few months ago, I honestly thought they were going to start a total war with them. But it seems like it just furthered off. But people have been predicting it's going to heat up again, like a conflict with Iran and Israel. I just don't see the U.S. attacking Iran over protests. But if that's the excuse they're going to use, it's crazy. I'm sure there'll be a false flag or something coming. All right, next. Bruce again. 83 of the world's 100 most polluted cities are in India. We cannot let these invaders destroy our country, pristine waterways. Next, remigration is the cure to the virus of mass migration. Yeah, that's crazy how the rivers are in India. We have a lot of nice rivers here in Sarnia. We have the beautiful I think it's St. Clair River. Spotless, not a speck of garbage. So hopefully it stays that way. Here's another thing, great news. a lot of Indians, they say, are not coming for student visas anymore. They don't want to pay the big money and then get turfed, I guess. Canada loses a spot as the top destination for international students. Great news. I think they'll find another way in. They know the student thing's a scam. Everybody knows it's a scam now, so they got to find a different way in. But you never know. Maybe they're actually sick of Canada too. Not just the Canadians who can't afford to eat and live. Maybe they're actually thinking, oh, we should go to a better country. Go ahead, invade. Here's another one, Edmonton. And it's interesting, Edmonton, Alberta's got a lot of these issues, and I guess they blame it on being part of Canada, but they got a lot of issues with, I don't know what the hell's going on, third worldization, I guess. That's the issue. If this is the elevator at Royal Alexandra Hospital in Edmonton, imagine what the washroom looks like. Yeah, so that's the elevator in a hospital. Like, hospitals are supposed to be sterile environments, not like this. This looks like a crackhead's bathroom. But I guess this is a genuine picture. It's not an AI. So that's crazy. That's third world. That's a third world hospital right there. So it's interesting how, you know, an independent Alberta, I think, would probably fix that. I don't know. Something's wrong if stuff like that happens. All right. There's Donald Trump again. Okay. Locked and loaded. Ready to go. He tweets stuff like that just to fuck with people. So until I see them invading or bombing the shit out of Iran, I'm not going to take any of that seriously. All right. Here's Ireland. Doesn't look Irish anymore. There is only one solution to this problem: total remigration. Yeah, Ireland's weird. Why? See, I think because they're part of the EU, they have to bring so many migrants to Ireland. So migrants come from Europe. They come to Italy. They go to Greece, Spain, and they are distributed, I guess, throughout Europe. And so Ireland seems to be taking a lot. It's crazy. In Ireland, they've been through so much. Why are they doing this to Ireland? But even Sarnia's looking like this. Like, we are getting refugee. I don't know what we're getting. But anyway, Ireland seems to be. And there's a lot of tension there. A lot of people are starting to, like, protest against, like, putting hundreds of thousands of military-age men, single men, into your community. That makes perfect sense. All right. People are starting to speak up against it, though. It's hard to say what'll happen. I don't know. Something will happen. Okay. This is horrible. This is a woman in Spain, which gets a lot of migrants from the Mediterranean. And she's just walking along, and she's by herself, which you used to be able to do in Canada and Europe. A woman would actually be able to walk in daylight and not get attacked, maybe raped. And but now, like in a lot of European cities, I'm told like Athens is a no-go zone, the center, which it didn't used to be. Never used to be. So, but a lot of European cities, even Toronto. Toronto's more crackheads and everything, but it's getting worse. Like, look at this. Let's see. So she's walking there with the suitcase or whatever, the handbag, the grocery bag. Then this migrant spots her by herself, says, screw it. Totally grabs her, but she's holding on tight. This is horrible. This is just a regular neighborhood in Spain. Do you think that in a million years you'd think your mother or your wife could go to the supermarket or to the local market and get attacked by some? So that can't go on forever. Something's got to give. All right. This is I think what I was thinking. The theme of 2026 is total remigration. That's the theme. It's right away, the first 2 days. No more talk of legal or illegal, because legal immigration is just, it's almost worse than illegal, because harder to get rid of those ones. No more talk of born here. No more talk of they contribute. They're all going home. From Ireland to the UK, Europe, Australia, and all the way to America and Canada, our patience has expired. We are taking our countries back. Happy New Year. So I'm not saying that this tweet is the gospel. What I'm saying is I see tweets like this constantly on the first day of 2026, first 2 days. So seems like that's going to be the theme of the year. Whether we're being tricked, that's another story. So 2026, this is funny. This German streamer wanted to know how safe it is to celebrate New Year's with Muslims, and she got stoned. That's hilarious. This is part of the problem. People like this. Let's see. Oh, right in the head. Oh.
Ich habe immer was abbekommen. Ich habe immer was gegen den Kopf bekommen.
She deserves it.
Ich glaube, wenn ich so 2 Meter Türsteher Schrank wäre, hätten die das nicht gemacht.
Oh,
wieder, Alter.
She got hit again.
Wichser!
So this is a German streamer. Okay. Women like this and guys who want to be so inclusive and welcoming that it means dying are a big part of the problem. I don't know how they think, or they're brainwashed. I think they're brainwashed. But they need to not be listened to at all, these kinds of people. She's gonna die. She's lucky she didn't get raped. Mass raped. That's not a joke either. That's true. She's lucky. All right. This is a big problem. In India, Kerala police busted a fake degree racket, seizing 100,000 Ford certificates from 22 universities. Estimates suggest over 1 million were issued and used to secure jobs abroad. So yeah, basically fraud, and more fraud. Scam, and more scam. Sorry, it's the facts. It's not me. If it was me, maybe you could say, okay, he's lying. But this is pretty horrible stuff, you know. Million issued, 1 million fake diplomas. And that's just one operation. There's probably like 10 others. So everything in India is a scam, seems, according to the news. Ban all immigration from India. Just the only way to be sure. It's the only way. Next. This is funny. So they destroyed Germany. You can't even go into central Berlin without getting stoned by actual, whatever the hell they are, cavemen. The German government wants to send the native German men off to fight their wars after oppressing them, treating them like second-class citizens and flooding the nation with uncivilized, violent, foreign fighting age men. For years, Germans have been raped and slaughtered by these foreigners. What will happen to the native women and children if the German men are sent off to war? So here it is. Germany begins sending forms to 18-year-olds asking them if they are fit for war. They've talked about this, about conscription in Germany for wars against Russia. It's like, why would they leave Germany? if anything, they should be marching on Berlin, not going to Russia or Ukraine. UK is on the verge of civil war and the entire world knows it. It seems that this is exactly what the globalist and Marxist governments want. They are facilitating it. Seems that way. Like this push for, you know, again, this anti-immigration push and this, it's like getting boosted on social media. Maybe it's a trap. They want us to do it. Civil war is inevitable as the natives have been abused, oppressed by the government, terrorized, harmed, raped, and killed by foreigners. While the government protects the foreigners and covers it up. Natives are being jailed for social media posts while foreign rapists and murderers walk free to hunt down more victims. Natives suffer and live in the streets while new third world fake refugees are immediately housed and live for free. Most of the West Wing is living through the same nightmare. Most of the West is. What the globalist and Marxist governments are doing to our people is truly evil. Who's this? So this is a UK guy. I don't live in the UK, but I can see them. Like the situation there is crazy. Globalist Central in UK. Here's the next one. Immigrants don't. This is all I see on my feed. Sorry, that's all I see. Immigrants. So something's coming up. Immigrants don't come to America to contribute anymore. They come to America to get welfare benefits, defraud taxpayers, and escape their shithole countries. They want a piece of what our ancestors built, and if we let them, they will take it all. Seems that way. Like those Somalian daycares, and who knows how much millions are given in Canada too. Millions. And it buys votes, you know, they vote. They all vote. You got to buy them off, I guess. But that's not a good immigration policy, to like buy off new voters. It's a horrible immigration policy. People responsible for this want the First Amendment abolished. I wonder why. So that's at Gaza. Israel destroyed Gaza like that. Whatever. It is. I think it's horrible. A lot of people don't. But anyway, now they don't want you to talk about stuff. This is a crazy thing. This is going to be the theme too in 2026 is censorship. Because we kind of went a few years without censorship thanks to Elon Musk and X leading the way. But this guy, Israel billionaire Shlomo Kramer, is now openly calling for the First Amendment to be eliminated in the U.S. Says artificial intelligence will play a major role in restricting free speech. Claims the First Amendment must be limited and protected before it is too late, while calling for total control over all social media platforms. That's going to be a thing this year, is censorship. So when you get just when you get people starting to talk about stuff like the immigration policies and all the other policies that have led to, you know, inflation, cost of living, crime, everything. Just when people are starting to talk about it en masse, they're going to do all this censorship. Let's see what he says here.
Expresses themselves.
Kramer, also one of the founders of Checkpoint, another big cyber company. Shlomo, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How is AI, cyber warfare, shaping geopolitics right now?
So AI is going to revolutionize cyber warfare, from critical infrastructure to the fabric of society and politics, and undermining it, giving unfair advantage to authoritarian governments against democratic countries. First Amendment type of...
That's already happening?
That's already happening. You're seeing the polarization in countries that allow for the First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
We got to protect it.
And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that
At least
expresses
they're
themselves
not
online
hiding it.
and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social
Yeah, why not?
should do that. And we need to educate people against lies, and government need to develop cyber defense programs that are as sophisticated as the cyber attack. Today it's a 1 to 100 ratio. And really government are not doing this today at any rate, and enterprises are left fending from
Well,
themselves.
the technology is moving much faster than
So
the political system.
you notice they didn't even say, like, you're crazy, limit it in the First Amendment. That no pushback at all.
Right, so you need to use technology in order to stabilize the political system, and you need to put adjustments that are perhaps not.
I mean, we're at a point,
but
though,
necessary.
right? I mean, I can go on Instagram or TikTok, and frankly, it already is becoming unclear what is fake and what is real.
So now we're going to
And
say
once
it's all
you
fake.
Eliminate that ability to discern truth from fiction, and what are you left with?
You're left with polarization of society and inner fighting, and you have to control that. And you see that already happening across the world. So this is an urgent need by the government to do that. And until then, enterprises are buying by themselves more and more cybersecurity solutions, but they can't afford all these solutions by themselves. So they are looking for ways to deliver more efficient consumption.
And I.
The reason that Henry
All right. So they're not even hiding it anymore. So I guess that's good. But that's what we're facing in 2026, along with the surge in kind of nationalism of Western countries. All right. I don't know. I don't remember this. America First. Why did I? I don't think I. What? Can we start the process in the? I don't know. Maybe it's on the comments. There we go. So yeah, they want to get rid of the. I mean, he is a billionaire. I don't know how influential this guy is. But they're already trying to do that anyway. So he's not being. He's not wrong what he's saying. Like, it's going on right now. Unacceptable threats. This is about Alberta separatists getting threats. Violence, murder, starvation, deportation. They're basically being called traitors for talking about Alberta independence and saying they should be executed and all that. Let's see what it is. If I was Ottawa, I would simply put a bounty on the head of every white separatist. A lot of countries, this tomfoolery would get you strung up for treason. And if you lose, all those who voted yes should be arrested, charged with treason, and sentenced. It's funny how they talk bad, like, about Alberta separatists, but when Quebec separatists held 2 referendums, they didn't threaten to execute them. It's like a double standard almost. I wonder if they'll get a referendum in Quebec too at the same time. That'd be nuts. And then Saskatchewan, they're saying they want to separate now. Probably join Alberta. I could see them joining Alberta. And like, Saskatchewan's kind of weird. You could drive into, you could hang out in 2 different towns in each province. It's that close. Like, it's right there. Could easily meld into one country. So that's gonna be crazy stuff. The Liberals are doing their best to destroy Canada, it seems. Even Trudeau, but Carney's picking up the baton to destroy Canada. And then the last thing I want to talk about is our friend here, Wyatt Claypool. He keeps bad-mouthing this Wyatt Claypool. He's a Zio cuck. He has it in his thing. Zionist, neocon. Like, nobody should be proud to be a neocon. Neocons are basically forever war guys. You know, they want Middle East wars. Wherever there's war, they want it. So it's not really a badge of honor. And then Zionist, it's like, are you Canadian or you're a Zionist? Like, what is that? He is pro, like, he has no problem having millions of Indians come into Canada, because as long as they're not Muslims, because he's a Zionist. Anyway, he keeps bad-mouthing the Dominion Society, which is a group that wants to promote the European heritage, primarily the British, French, all that, but European overall character of Canada. And he's calling them bad characters, bad actors, and using all these stupid intellectual words that he borrowed from his fat buddy James Lindsay. And he's calling them leftists. He's saying Dominion Society is a bunch of left-wing. No, they're normal people that want Canada to remain a first world country. That's literally all they are. You couldn't get more simple than that. But Wild Claypool is a Zionist, so he wants the country flooded with diversity for his Zionist masters. But the young kids will decide, not us. So he's basically saying white people, Europeans, can't collect together as a group. Otherwise, they'll turn into Nazis. But every other group can organize and destroy white Europeans. But the minute white Europeans say, hey, we need to form a group to voice our concerns, even if you don't agree with all those concerns, oh, they're Nazis. And here you got Wyatt Claypool, who does more to attack Dominion Society than he does whatever is destroying Canada, because he's part of the thing that is destroying Canada. Zionism looks out for Zionism. That's fine, you know. It makes sense. But as a Canadian, I wouldn't put Zionist in my profile thing. I would call that's called a Ziocuck traitor, is more accurate. So look at this. He rejects individualism. But you kind of need to get together and discuss what's going on in this destroyed country. The only way you have any chance of fixing it is getting together with the boys and saying, hey, whether it's a Dominion Society or Second Sons or any other group, even your neighborhood guys, you can't do anything without meeting other people. So according to Wyatt Claypool, we all should stay individuals and fight the good fight alone. I don't know what he's trying to say, but he's calling them basically Nazis, which they're not. They're normal guys just don't want their daughters to get raped. It's not that complicated for Wyatt Claypool. He's probably a virgin too. I don't know. He talks I don't know, there's something wrong with that kid. But I don't think he would say that shit to Second Sons. He doesn't even just criticize their policies, he calls them names. I don't think he would say that in person, because he's a little cuck, and he wouldn't have the guts to say that to somebody in person. Not criticizing the policies, I'm talking his little name calling. He calls them bad actors. He never misses a point to attack Dominion Society. And I said, go to Israel, Ziocuck. That's where you belong. But they won't even take you. Even Pierre Poilievre wouldn't take this little cuck, Wyatt Claypool. He's a Ziocuck traitor who has no problem flooding Canada with millions of Indians. But he won't say that. He'll just call people like Dominion Society. And you don't have to agree with everything Dominion Society says or promotes, but they're not raping and killing people and extorting people and shooting up places and trafficking drugs. They're just trying to provide a nationalist voice to the conversation. So Wyatt Claypool, not a good way to start the year, buddy. Look at this guy. If you see this guy, don't take him seriously. Look at this little fucking guy. Anyway, Wyatt, maybe he'll come out on top. I don't think so. So that's it for today. Like I said, interesting start to the year. It should be the battle between nationalism, resurgent nationalism, and censorship. It will be a good battle for 2026. All right. So when's the next broadcast? Tomorrow's Saturday. January 3rd. Let's see what transpires. I'm sure we'll just talk about the same thing. So until then, have a nice night.